Smash and grab caught on camera as police look to tackle break and enters. Talking tariffs.
There's money for all different areas that are being used.
Ontario sending millions to Windsor-Essex companies to fight back. And how much is it going to cost to cross the Gordie Howe? The answer as we inch closer to its opening.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Stephanie is off. I'm Travis Fortnum. A Windsor mother is heading to prison for 3 years after her daughter drowned in a backyard pool a few years back. Today, a judge ruling the woman's actions back in 2024 amounted to criminal negligence causing death and that the tragedy could have been prevented. CTV's Chris Campbell was in the courtroom today. Chris, we'll warn our viewers some of the details here could be disturbing.
Yes, Travis, it was a very emotional decision in court this morning. The judge said the 5-year-old girl's death was both tragic and entirely preventable. Justice Christine Malott said the mother knew her daughter had a history of wandering off and an obsession with water, yet still left her children alone near a backyard pool.
A Windsor mother is heading to prison after a judge found her actions led to the drowning death of her 5-year-old daughter. The identities of the mother and child cannot be reported due to a publication ban. Justice Christine Malott said the woman was aware of the dangers facing her daughter, who had a history of wandering away from home and was believed to have undiagnosed autism and ADHD. Malott said the child had previously escaped from home, prompting involvement from the Children's Aid Society. But despite knowing those risks, the judge said the mother left the girl unsupervised near a backyard pool. A child lost her life in a manner which could have and should have been avoided, Malott stated. Court heard the mother had taken her children to a man's home and left them alone while she went into a bedroom. At one point, the girl left the house and went toward the pool, but the mother stopped her. The judge said the woman put her sleeping son in a stroller in front of the door and once again left the children unattended. Malott told the court she was not completing household chores. She was engaged in sexual activity with a virtual stranger. She took her children to a strange place at night and left them unsupervised so she could have sex. When presented with the choice between her own wants and needs and the needs of her children, she should have prioritized her children. Malott said the mother's actions represented a serious breach of trust towards a vulnerable child. She said, "A child has died. No sentence that I impose will bring her back." The community is no doubt both shocked and horrified that this could occur. The sentence imposed must reflect that reality and that loss of innocent life. The mother was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Prosecutor Nicole Stortini had asked for a prison sentence of 3 to 5 years, while defense lawyer Alex Cardella argued for house arrest. Both declined to comment after the sentencing.
The judge acknowledged the decision would separate the mother from her remaining children, but said she needed to be held accountable for what happened. The woman was also ordered to provide a DNA sample and was given a 10-year weapons prohibition. Travis.
Thank you, Chris. That's CTV's Chris Campbell reporting in studio for us tonight. Meantime, an arrest has been made after a violent altercation at a house party in Windsor. Police say officers were called to a home in the 900 block of Campbell Avenue early Monday morning, where an uninvited man refused to leave a gathering. Investigators say a 21-year-old man was struck in the face with a weapon and taken to hospital with serious injuries. A 17-year-old girl was also assaulted and briefly lost consciousness. A 33-year-old suspect was later arrested and now faces several charges, including aggravated assault. Also tonight, CTV News has obtained exclusive video of a smash and grab robbery at a sports store in the East End. Melanie Kentner joining us with the Crime Stoppers report. Melanie, this is a crime police are focusing on right now.
Yeah, let's start out by talking about some of the recent statistics with commercial break-ins. What are they?
Well, the three police services in Windsor-Essex County reported 49 break-in-enters, commercial break-in-enters this year. However, that is actually a decrease from the same amount of break-in-enters we received last year.
Well, that's a good point. However, Bob Rione Sports was just hit. What can you tell us about this particular case?
Well, on Saturday morning at approximately, at 5:30 on the 21st of February, 3 suspects broke into Bob Rione Sports and stole officially licensed sports memorabilia such as jerseys and baseball caps.
And I understand you have some video. Can you describe it for us?
Well, the video depicts a suspect carrying a rock or a brick, and he manages to breach the business by breaking the window and crawling through the window. A dark-colored Mitsubishi, gray in color, four-door, approaches the business, and two other suspects get out of the vehicle. But we want our viewers at home to pay close attention to that vehicle. There's not a lot of them around. So if anybody has any information with respect to anybody driving that sort of vehicle within that time frame, give Crime Stoppers a call.
That's good to know. Now, we did talk to the owner about what happened.
Well, when I showed up, the window was broken type of thing. There was a few things laying outside, so the police are already here. So open the door, walk in, start answering some questions for them, showing them where stuff was missing, and wait till they finished their report because they wanted me to leave what was laying outside out there.
And what are some of the ways to help prevent these type of things from happening?
Well, if businesses have alarms, we recommend that they register them with their local police service, or even have an enhanced version of an alarm system where they can observe what's happening by way of a notification on their phone.
And if the public does have information, what should they do?
Well, they can reach out to Windsor Essex Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or online at catchcrooks.com.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick. And that's your Crime Stoppers report.
4 people were taken to hospital with serious injuries last night after a multi-vehicle crash in the county. OPP shutting down Manning Road between Highway 3 and North Talbot shortly before 8, with fire and EMS on scene as well. At least 3 vehicles could be seen with extensive damage, but police say none of the injuries are believed to be life-threatening. The road reopened around 9. New numbers show the Windsor Police Service Nurse Police Team is playing a growing role in helping vulnerable residents in Windsor. Between January 1st and March 9th, the team responded to 510 calls for service. Officers say they diverted 138 people away from the emergency department, made 90 referrals to mental health and substance use supports, and handed out 140 harm reduction kits. The program, a partnership between Windsor Police Service and Windsor Regional Hospital, pairs a police officer with a registered nurse to respond to calls involving substance use and other health concerns, helping ease pressure on emergency rooms. An American man has been fined $500 after customs officers seized a quantity of cocaine and marijuana on his return to the U.S. The incident happened on February 21st at the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel. CBP did not provide any further details. After being raided by police 9 times, a magic mushroom dispensary in downtown Windsor appears to be closed permanently. Signage for Fun Guys on Oled Avenue has been removed and the space appears vacant. A for rent sign is displayed. Speaking on AM 800, Windsor Police Chief Jason Crowley says the police service put a lot of resources into monitoring what was going on at Fun Guys and hopes it is gone forever. He says when crystal methamphetamine is found, it becomes a much bigger problem than just mushrooms.
I think at the end of the day, they were the ones that came out and said, listen, the crystal meth and the LSD that was found in there is not our intention. So they really closed their own doors.
A flood watch has been issued for the Essex County region by the Essex Region Conservation Authority, I should say. The agency says rain gauges recorded 20 to 30 millimeters of rain overnight, with another 20 to 25 millimeters falling today. IRCA says smaller water courses are flowing at or near capacity. The flood watch is in effect until tomorrow at noon. And Gary Archibald joins me for our first look at the weather. Gary, more rain you're going to tell us, right?
Yeah, more rain. We are in the midst of at least 25, close to 30 millimeters of rainfall in Windsor, Essex. And of course, there's some variation with respects to the rain gauge totals. Over the next 24 hours, we'll have some finalized stats. This is the massive system responsible for freezing rain in the Ottawa Valley, headed towards Montreal. Nasty stuff. We'll take the rain, but it's been plentiful. The worst of it's over. It will get cold enough tonight, say around 10 p.m. towards midnight, 1 a.m., that we could see some flurries. Yes, this one system is doing all of that. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead to tomorrow and the weekend. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. The Ford government is announcing new funding to help Windsor Essex businesses navigate the pressure of tariffs. They say a financial boost will create more than 60 new jobs. With more on what it means for one local manufacturer, here's CTV's Robert Lothian.
Under the pressure of U.S. tariffs, Windsor-based chemical manufacturer Dymachem says cooking up the formula to navigating uncertainty is an ongoing process.
We felt a shift in our relationship with some American prospects and clients around having product made in Canada that was going to U.S.
The company produces chemicals for industrial manufacturing uses in automotive, aerospace, and other industries. About 40% of their products are shipped to U.S. businesses.
It's very hard to remain competitive in the changing environment. We're working very, very hard to accomplish that every day, and so any help from any quarter is helpful.
Help coming Wednesday from the provincial government in what it's calling tariff relief, $7.3 million for 8 Windsor-Essex businesses.
These investments will not only protect the incredible workers that these companies have, they underscore their operations, but they'll support the creation of new jobs across Windsor.
For Dymachem, Vice President Andrew Conway says about $1.1 million will contribute to the plant's $10 million expansion, creating at least 5 new jobs. Approaching production capacity, Conway says they will be able to create more chemicals and broaden their footprint.
We can then focus all of our logistics in the new building, and that gives us new production space, new production capacity, new sites that we can put in production cells in our existing building.
Across Ontario, the government says hundreds of companies have applied for trade funding that's increased to $150 million over 3 years due to demand.
There is money for all different areas that are being used to help our families, to help the workers, to help the businesses.
In the case of Dymachem and other businesses receiving support, funding is stability in the midst of uncertainty.
It helps us with the numbers, but it also helps us have the courage to invest and expand.
Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
The Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority and Bridging North America have just released how much drivers are going to have to pay to cross the Gordie Howe International Bridge once it opens. CTV's Sanjay Maru joining me with the long-awaited answer to that question.
And Travis, that is one of the 2 big questions people all around the community have been wondering: when the bridge will open and how much it will cost to cross. We still don't know the answer to the first question, but as for the second, we can tell you it will be much cheaper to cross the Gordie Howe Bridge as opposed to its neighboring competitor, the Ambassador Bridge, and there will also be a discount program for those who cross frequently called Breakaway. Let's take a look at the numbers. Passenger vehicles will pay $8 Canadian or $5.75 US per crossing. For members of the Breakaway discount program, $6 Canadian or $4.35 US. And here's how that compares to the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel and the Ambassador Bridge. At the tunnel, drivers pay $8.25 Canadian to enter the US and $9 US to enter Canada. With Nexpress, that cost drops to $5.90 Canadian to go stateside and $6.75 American to return. The Ambassador Bridge, meanwhile, charges $14 Canadian and $10 American to cross. Commercial vehicles will also receive discounted per axle rates at the new bridge. The standard toll is $12 Canadian or $8.75 US per axle, with a breakaway rate of $9.60 Canadian and $6.90 US per axle. The Ambassador Bridge charges $20 per axle or $15 for those who have an A-Pass or Easy Pass. Those prices are in American. Right now, only business accounts can sign up for Breakaway. Accounts for personal users will launch in the coming weeks. Earlier today, we did ask Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens whether he expects the Maroon family, which operates and oversees the Ambassador Bridge, to continue their efforts in blocking the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge. Dilkens says nothing would surprise him.
I would expect that you will see a response as you get closer to the opening of the Gordie Howe, recognizing that whether you run a tunnel that's buried under the water or whether you have a bridge that's exposed to the elements 24/7, 365, they come with heavy operating costs and maintenance costs. And so there's only so low someone can go before they start losing money, and it doesn't make business sense.
And I did reach out to the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, which oversees the Gordie Howe crossing, asking how much the Ambassador Bridge factored into setting their toll rates. Officials say rates are based on their operating model, customer needs, and long-term sustainability in an effort to set an appropriate price. And as for when the Gordie Howe Bridge will open, officials would only say this spring.
Thank you, Sanjay. That's CTV's Sanjay Maru, and it will be interesting to see how these other two crossings respond to this, right?
Yeah, something we'll be watching out for closely.
Try and keep people going on their side.
Exactly.
And this brings us to our question of the day. Would toll rate impact which border crossing you would choose? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you come to a full stop at a red light before turning right. Out of about 700 responses, 92% answered yes. A cybersecurity training pilot in Windsor, Essex has successfully wrapped up. Connecting Windsor, Essex says the one-year initiative trained 18 technical leaders from 9 public sector organizations, including the City of Windsor, Windsor Police Service, St. Clair College, and the University of Windsor. Participants completed one of the world's leading cybersecurity credentials. Officials say the pilot improves collaboration across municipal, public safety, and education sectors. And as vehicles become increasingly connected and computerized, the risk of hackers targeting the technology inside them is also growing. A University of Windsor engineering professor is studying how those systems could be compromised and how to stop it. Mitra Mirhassani leads research into vulnerabilities in connected and autonomous vehicles, including their software and wireless systems. Her team studies how those systems could potentially be manipulated, whether through cyber attacks, system failures, or compromised sensors. Mirhassani is the co-director of the Shield Automotive Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, Canada's only center focused on automotive cybersecurity. The professor, who recently received a National Research Fellowship for her work, says the goal is to keep connected vehicles safe as the technology becomes more common on the road.
We are going to do testing on real cars, not just simulations. So this way we can create reproducibility, repeatability for others so they can repeat the steps. We can basically publish our data set and testing points for others to use it for validation of their technology.
Big relief could be coming for teachers' wallets. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, what the province is promising. A political shift in Ottawa, 4 MPs crossing the floor in just months. Coming up, what's driving the move to the Liberals? The province says elementary school teachers will no longer have to pay out of pocket for classroom supplies and will soon have access to an annual spending account. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
You can't make a masterpiece without them. Paintbrushes, paints, and paper, too.
And that's a dock?
Ontario is putting up $66 million of new funding to make sure they get into little hands.
The days of teachers having to, put their hands in their own pockets to pay for school supplies, those days are done.
The Premier unveiling a plan to give elementary teachers $750 this fall to stock up their classrooms.
I'm just so proud. I think this is the greatest thing I think we've ever done for public education.
So here's how it works. This card helps teachers get connected to a website that will be set up by late summer. From that site, they'll be able to order everything from markers to paper towels. Supply Ontario will be running it to maximize the buying power.
Opposition leaders say that portal won't be able to send what's actually needed.
There's no website that is going to get that young girl in school who needs an EA. They can't click on that.
This announcement does nothing to make class sizes smaller, to keep rural or northern schools open, to keep our students safe and supported in their classrooms.
While the union that speaks for public elementary teachers appreciates the help,
the government is trying to make us believe that this is a gift that's being given prior to what is going to be probably a very contentious round of central bargaining.
ETFO is part of a group of leaders appealing to the education minister as he considers the structure of school boards.
Mend it, don't end it, and include us in the discussions.
The minister says he hasn't presented cabinet with options, including what to do with trustees. Those elected officials have been sidelined in 8 boards already. Nominations for this fall's elections open May 1st.
We are seeing critical decisions in several of our boards happening behind closed doors via appointed supervisors without transparency.
Paul Calandra says boards under supervision won't get their control back
until they are on the right path. Like, full stop. If it takes us 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, I don't care.
But he doesn't see it happening anytime soon. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A fourth member of Parliament, this time an NDP MP, crossed the floor to join the Liberals, putting Mark Carney 2 seats shy of a majority. CTV's Mike Couture on the warm welcome for the Liberals' latest recruit.
It was another hero's welcome for the latest opposition MP to join the Liberals. This time, it was a member of the NDP. Laurie Idlout says threats to Canada's sovereignty and concerns for her constituents in the north led to this decision.
There are a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so warmly welcomed.
Now, ahead of her introduction to caucus, the Prime Minister praised Idlout's work as an MP.
We've had conversations about what we can do, both large and small, in Nunavut.
The mood within the NDP today was decidedly more dour. Less than a week ago, Idlout spoke at an event in support of leadership candidate Avi Lewis.
I truly am nervous about my influence.
Surrounded by his caucus of just 6 members, interim leader Don Davies said any floor crosser should have to run in a by-election. He also criticized Carney for poaching other MPs.
Whether or not there's a majority government is fundamentally a decision of the Canadian people at the ballot box. And it should happen that way, not through backroom deals.
A similar sentiment was being shared by Conservatives who have lost their share of floor crossers in recent months.
To see her now go to the Liberals, who she's so readily criticized over the last number of years, to me it's a little strange. And I've seen comments from people in Nunavut that a lot of comments that aren't happy with her move.
Now, Carney's path to a majority government just got a lot easier. If the Liberals win 2 out of the 3 by-elections next month, they will secure it, nearly a year after forming a minority government. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
So why is this happening now? Those who have crossed to the Liberals cite the desire to work with the Prime Minister. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks deeper into what's being called the Carney effect.
4 floor crossings in just over 4 months. First, it was Conservative MP Chris D'Entremont, then Conservative Michael Maw. A third Tory, Matt Genereux, defected last month. And now, New Democrat MP Laurie Idlout has joined the Liberal caucus. To see this many parliamentary party switchers between elections is rare. But the Prime Minister and his inner circle say it's tied to the moment in history Canada is facing.
I'm not surprised to see colleagues which are doing soul searching and say, I want to be at the decision table.
The Liberals are also gaining support across the country, recently opening a 13-point polling advantage over the Conservatives.
It shows right now the trajectory is favoring Mark Carney and the Liberals, and they're opening up a significant lead.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
And while critics accuse Mark Carney of undermining the democratic process, this kind of backroom dealing has always been fair game in our political system, and it may not be over yet.
There are rumors of other Conservatives that might be in play, and I would assume that the government is lavishing those people with attention, trying to make that decision a little bit easier for them.
In order to beat Chrétien's record of poaching 5 PC and NDP MPs during the 36th Parliament, the Prime Minister would need to convince 2 more MPs to cross the floor. And with this Parliament now looking more stable, time may be on Carney's side. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
After huge jumps in gas prices since the start of the Middle East conflict, some relief is now expected at the pumps tomorrow. Dan McTagg with Canadians for Affordable Energy says the price of regular gas will drop by 8 cents tomorrow and diesel will drop by 12 cents. Gas prices started raising last week, soon after the conflict began and Iran retaliated by closing a key oil shipping route to other nations. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the technology sector. In Toronto, the TSX fell 151 points, and in New York, the Dow lost 289, while the Nasdaq gained 19. The Canadian dollar dropped 0.1 cent today, and on commodity markets, gold is down $63 an ounce, and oil is up almost $4 a barrel. Coming up, a new high-tech safety plan could soon light up downtown Windsor, what it means for local businesses and how much it will cost.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Joni Riviere for this great image. Just ahead, we're going to talk about cold temperatures, cold enough to see flurries, maybe even a rain-snow mix over the next several days. Believe it or not, believe it. I promise you the details coming up on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Definitely no shortage of puddles around the roads today, Gary, and it sounds like you're about to tell us there is more rain on the way.
More rain. You're right about that. Later tonight, we could even see flurries. But before we get there, I want to talk more about this great contest, of course. We're talking about the Money Mayhem. You need this number. It's the PIN, 6430. Enter it now at ctvwindsor.ca and be listening, of course, every morning to Mike and Meg at 8:37 a.m. on the great station AM 800, our sister station, of course. They could be calling you soon enough to play this great game and contest. Okay, no contest here. We are in the midst of a significant storm. There's nothing we can do about it, and just brace ourselves. The worst is over. But now temperatures are going to take a nosedive, and we're going to see rain that was steady at times, some ponding, localized flooding. Now see some freezing temperatures in some areas. We reached a high well above seasonal, but 17 degrees Celsius. And of course, with that, we're talking about 5.3 degrees is our normal high, so we are well above seasonal. Let's take a look and move on here with a big picture perspective in terms of the overall situation. Air quality is decent. The cloud cover continues. We're in intermittent showers right now through to at least tonight at around 11 p.m. The winds picked up during the 4 o'clock hour. We were in the 50 to 60K range for gusts, sustained winds in the 30s. It's cooler right now in Windsor, Essex. We're in the cooler air as the warmer air is still situated a little bit further east. 12 degrees in Windsor at the airport, 16, almost 17 in Chatham-Kent. By the way, that's snow to our north. The pink and purple, that's freezing rain. We're talking about steady freezing rain in eastern Ontario, southern Quebec. It's been a disaster on area roads. Some isolated thunderstorms early this morning. You might have slept through it. And now the colder air moves in. That's snow moving through as a massive system of low pressure drops our temperatures significantly and produces some flurries by Friday. More on that in just a moment. The rainfall I mentioned, the worst of it's over right now. Scattered showers still linger at least through to about 11 p.m. They're light. But look at this, snow developing in parts of southern Ontario through the Midwestern tier near Georgian Bay, but we could see flurries at midnight, if not beyond, we can see flurries at around 8 o'clock towards 10 o'clock tonight, with temperatures down to about 0 degrees at midnight. It's going to be cold, yes. Take a look at our Enercare 7-day forecast, calling for a bit of a mix passing through early, but then we'll see some sunshine, 5 degrees tomorrow. Wow, that's a big drop compared to 17. Then 5 on Friday, flurries possible. And then look at what we're dealing with for Saturday, Sunday, a mix with temperatures hovering around 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, lows -3 to -5. More cold air tomorrow. Monday and Tuesday's St. Paddy's Day, not Wednesday. Look at these temperatures, -2 and +1. That's a look at your forecast.
Downtown Windsor businesses can now apply for Project Greenlight. The city is offering up to $5,000 to help businesses install commercial-grade security cameras as part of the new program aimed at improving safety in the core. Participating locations will install cameras marked with green flashing beacons with AI monitoring that can detect loitering and even issue a live move along warning through speakers if someone lingers too long. City officials say the program has been nearly 3 years in the making, with up to 90 cameras expected across the downtown BIA as part of Windsor's broader push to strengthen the core.
If people don't feel safe in an area because they think it's unsafe, they're just not going to go to it. Much like they won't go to it if there's actual crime happening and they think they're going to be pickpocketed or harmed in some way. They're just going to stay away.
And get your pickleball paddles ready. LaSalle Council is officially moving forward with constructing 10 new pickleball courts at the Vollmer complex. Council unanimously awarding the tender to Front Construction Industries, Inc. for $2.5 million. Construction will also include a new building with 3 washrooms, 50 parking spots, and new lighting. Council previously earmarked $3 million for the project. Construction could begin as early as April. The courts are expected to be completed by September. In Tecumseh, residents will see garbage pickup move to bi-weekly service in February of 2027. Town Council voting to move residential and commercial collection to bi-weekly pickups on Thursdays. Residents will still see a weekly yard waste spread across 4 days. The town received proposals from 2 companies with an overall cost increase ranging from 18% to 177%. Tecumseh currently pays about $750,000 annually for collection services. The winning bid will be presented to Council for approval at the next regular meeting. Speaking of garbage, here's an interesting tidbit. Raccoons obviously are not above digging through your trash for a bite to eat, but a new study has found they are not always motivated by food. Researchers from the University of British Columbia have found that while raccoons can often outsmart latches meant to keep them out of bins, they may also be solving those puzzles simply for the challenge, even when there was no food reward inside. The study's authors describe the behavior as information foraging that could give them an advantage in complex environments.
Off to volleyball in Windsor this week. A local team made it all the way to the finals. We'll tell you how they did. On the Sidelines is next.
We are on the sidelines with Bob Belichico tonight. And Bob, the energy is coming from the University of Windsor, starting with the men's volleyball team.
Actually, Travis, there's energy all over the sports scene right now. It's amazing. But yeah, the men are hosting the national championships this weekend. Teams are already in town practicing at the TLC because that is a unique place to play, nice and loud, and just the lighting is really cool. So the Windsor Lancers have put aside the disappointment of losing to Queens in the finals last weekend in the OUA final. They've done a hard reboot. And the number 4 seed looks forward to facing the number 6 seed, Montreal, in front of a packed house Friday night at 6 p.m.
Super glad. I wouldn't take it back at all. And, you know, just ready to roll with the boys this weekend and see how far we can go.
We have a really strong opponent. We know, you know, what they like to do. We have some ideas on how we might try to stop them. Can't share those with you on public dissemination. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no folding with this team right now. A great moment in the locker room for head coach Kevin Hamlin. The Lancers ousting TMU last weekend. They now will host UQTR for the Queen's Cup. The final is Saturday. It's a winner-take-all game. 3 years ago, UQTR went in triple overtime on a cheap bounce. The Lancers have a few leftovers from that squad, and redemption is top of mind Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m.
You know, obviously, like volleyball doing so well, we always go down to there and, you know, see the big crowds down there. And, you know, for them to come out and support us, you know, those guys, the football guys, soccer guys, you know, you name it, they're all out there supporting us. So it's huge, huge for us for sure.
I think with the 6 guys that were on the team a couple of years ago, we still kind of have that inkling in the back of our minds. So a little bit of unfinished business. So I think that kind of fuels our fire and really leads the group towards what we want in the end, and that's to win it all.
Aren't you pumped up?
Yeah, you're not lying. There is some great energy there, obviously.
Can't wait for Saturday.
Is it free to go to these games? Like,
oh, no.
Okay, good.
Parking's free, though, if you can find a parking spot.
That's a big bonus, because that's usually what it gets you at when you go to sporting events. And I mean, like, playoff hockey in our area is in full swing right now, right?
Totally in full swing right now, yeah. Let's go to Lakeshore first. The Canadians came back from a 2-0 deficit last night in Game 3. 3 goals in the third period to beat Blenheim, 3-2. Lakeshore is now up 2-1 in their Stobbs Division semifinals. In Essex last night, after losing Game 2 in Amherstburg over the weekend, the 73s, man, they came out rolling last night. 8-0 the final. Connor Hunt had a big game with 3 goals, 2 assists. Essex is up 2-1. Game 4 is in the Berg Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Love that horn. OJHL playoffs in Leamington last night. Brendan Cook getting a power play goal right there. That's the first of his 3 goals on the game and playoffs, for that matter. The Flyers won 4-2 to take a 2-1 series lead over Buffalo. Earlier this week, defenseman Matthew Thomas earned the OJHL Player of the Month. The Wheatley native led all players in the league, not just defensemen, but forwards too, with 22 points in 12 games.
It's been nice. It's been a good month. Coming back to the Flyers has been real nice. Hometown. It's been nice. Tough start to the season, but being back in Leamington and going for a run is really big for me and really big for the Flyers. So I'm glad to be back.
And not to be outdone, goaltender Trey Altman had himself a great month in February as well. He made 31 saves last night to earn the win. Altman went 9-1 last month with a sparkling 1.28 goals against average. That's awesome. How about this save percentage, though? 9.59. That is total insanity for a goalie. He and Gannon Hunter form probably the best tandem in the league. Trey is honored by the accolade and also locked in for this playoff run.
So I think it's more of a team award because they played so good in front of me. So I just had to do my job, and that's it, and trust everyone else, and that's how it worked out.
On to the Spitfires. Now, nerves were high when they lost forward Ethan Belchez last week, with good cause. Now, Spits Nation feeling a bit calmer today after beating Kitchener last weekend, the hottest team in the league, by the way. They have the Sioux tomorrow, head to Sarnia Friday, and host London Sunday.
Obviously, it's nice to beat Kitchener, as we haven't beat them this year. So, I mean, without Cheese, it's obviously difficult, but I mean, there's still guys that can step up and kind of can win games from that way.
Yeah, big game. They're all big. We just want to make sure that we're ready for. We're getting better every day and get ready for playoffs.
Right around the corner.
Right around. We're excited.
Yeah, that's 6 games away, man. Playoffs already.
It's great to see how they did without Belchez, because obviously that was a nerve-wracking.
Honestly, that was a big game for the Spitfires because they lost Saturday night against Flint, and they're chasing Flint for the division title. So for them to come back and beat the hottest team in the league, that says something if you're a Spits fan.
Yeah, energy being the theme of our segment tonight. Totally. I mean, the energy's high there, but we're talking about a little bit of an energy shift here as we go into Saints basketball.
Kind of a disappointment for the Saints basketball team, but yet they still won a medal. So check this out. Yeah, good moment there. Jacob Masters, and the final substitution of his career. He and his teammates didn't get to end the season the way they were hoping to. The West Division champs were gunning for gold at home on top of that, but had to settle for bronze. Disappointing for the group, but nothing to scoff at for the program. St. Clair has earned 4 provincial and 1 national medal in the past 5 years. That is great, and they're looking good heading into next season. Now, Holy Names was the 3 seed at the AAA OFSA in London this week, and this morning they made the semifinals against Mother Teresa, senior boys basketball. Now, this is Ryan Steer and the Knights from Holy Names, and tough against the defending OFSA silver medalist. Out of the gate, here's Cole Lowenberg getting a nice bounce for the triple. He would score 19 to lead the Knights in this one, but the Spartans were just too much to handle in this one. They took a 33-10 lead in the second quarter and would go on for a 61-47 win. The Knights playing for bronze tonight in London against Upper Canada College. And great volleyball action at Holy Names this afternoon. The school hosting the OFSA Championship. The Knights won the consolation bracket. The AAA final pitting Tecumseh's St. Anne Saints against Oakville's Trafalgar High School. The Saints were up 20-15 in the third set, but the Devils stormed back to win and carried that momentum into the fourth set. The top-seeded Devils beat the sixth-seeded Saints. Great ending considering the season could have ended a couple of weeks ago.
We're so happy. We didn't even know if we were going to get to OFSA since we lost Wexa. So this is just like a great way to end our season. It was such a good game. They are an amazing team. Whew, sorry.
But you hung with them.
Oh yeah, we were in there. It's sad to lose, but second in the province is like amazing.
That's great to see. Great volleyball, and I mean, it wows me how well-spoken these high school athletes are, right?
Like, oh yeah, even yesterday I was in Kingsville for the Paralympic game there.
Oh yeah,
and the hockey game, and you know, the grade 8 kid was amazing and well-spoken.
You want to talk about energy? That story was amazing. Those kids were hype. Like,
oh yeah,
that was
the energy
amazing.
just jumping off the screen, right?
Yeah,
but no, it was good for St. Anne to pull through on that one. You know, again, this season could have ended a couple of weeks ago when they lost in the Wexa final to Holy Names, and that was a heck of a matchup between those two powerhouses. So
that's great.
Hey, just know that we have two of the best teams in the province right here in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
That's awesome. And speaking of some of the best, remind us again, if we want to see some of these Lancers games this weekend or later in this week.
Okay, so Lancers hockey, 2 o'clock, Saturday afternoon at the Capri Pizzeria Recreation Complex, and then Friday night, 6 o'clock, University of Montreal against our Windsor Lancers volleyball team.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Bob. We really appreciate it.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Get ready for the Big Red Shoe 5K run or walk. Join us and help kick off the McHappy Day celebrations and support the Ronald McDonald House. See you next time on Our Community.
Okay, it's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Melanie, I understand you have some more on Amherstburg's shuttered Crown Royal bottling plant.
That's right, Travis. Ontario's Economic Development Minister provided an update earlier today. At an unrelated announcement, Vic Fideli saying talks are ongoing with Diageo over the now empty real estate. The alcoholic beverage giant closed the plant's doors last month, moving some production to the U.S. As a result, more than 200 employees lost their jobs in Amherstburg. Fideli was asked today about efforts to find jobs for those unemployed, and here's what he had to say.
We've been talking to potential companies who are looking at producing alcohol in Amherstburg or nearby. So we're really hoping that we can find solid positions for all of the people. That's our goal is 100%.
We got full background on Diageo online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story online, Melanie, about Windsor's latest lottery winner.
Yes, I love these stories. A Windsor engineer has won $100,000. Scott Luchevite won with Encore on a Lotto 649 ticket. He says it feels good to win, and the money will go towards paying bills, renovating the kitchen, and investing. The winning ticket was bought at the Canadian Tire Gas Plus on Tecumseh Road East in Windsor. And in our social spotlight, no doubt you've had a doggy bag at some point, but it may not have looked quite like this. Aw, this cute pup is Keanu. Ever since his mom got this new tote, he hasn't had to walk at all. He hops right in to go wherever she goes. Now that is a pampered pooch, Travis.
That is definitely a pampered pooch. I mean, I remember like the early 2000s, Paris Hilton and everybody carrying their dogs around in a little bag like that, right? Now we've got totes for them.
Yeah, it's a trendy thing, although my dog's way too big to fit in any of those.
I was going to say, there is no way you could coax Hayes into one of those, right?
No.
Thank you, Mel. Say somebody does fit their dog into a bag like that, though, and they've got video they want to send us. How can they do so?
Oh, yeah. They can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Thank you, Mel. And that is what is happening now. An inspiring comeback is making waves online. It's a story of courage and heart. That story when we return. So, yeah, we already talked about the puddles, Gary, but it sounds like you are here to talk about something else we might see. Not accumulating, though, right?
Not accumulating, but cold enough with the gusty winds continuing that we'll see a changeover from rain to some flurries late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Believe it or not, but believe it, because you can see from these temperatures with lows in the minuses for the next 7 days and highs in the lower single digits. Tomorrow, 5 degrees. Friday, a wintry mix, 5 degrees, 2 degrees on Saturday, a mix on Sunday, 4 degrees. Monday, Tuesday, we'll see a high of 0 and then -2. I'm not making this up, folks. Just cold air mass moving through, and we've already felt it today. From 2 o'clock at our peak, we've already lost about 6 degrees now in the 6 o'clock hour, so it's significant.
Yeah, wow. So definitely not surfing weather, just to check, right?
Not surfing.
Well, we do have one more story tonight about a legendary surfing dog who caught one final wave this past weekend.
Okay.
Sugar, a 16-year-old pup battling cancer, returned to the water for a special send-off. Once a rescue dog roaming the streets, Sugar went on to become a 5-time world dog surf champion and even made history as the first animal inducted into the Huntington Beach Surfing Walk of Fame. Fans say the moment was a celebration of a remarkable life spent riding waves and inspiring people. That's great. I think that's awesome.
And we have a lot of dog lovers here. You and I, myself, Melanie has a dog too. When I see stories like that, it just makes me think about how special they are, and they really make us better human beings.
Yeah, and I mean, they are here for a short amount of time, so it's really nice to hear about when they're given a beautiful send-off like this, especially one who has a hobby like this, apparently.
He's a champ. You bet.
Thank you for watching. From everyone here on our dedicated news team at CTV Windsor, thank you. Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
I'll see you then.